while simultaneously glazing Vladimir Putin. And now Vladimir Putin predictably is not even playing ball with him. So now he's upset at him. What happened to that deal? He said day one, he was going to fix it. Holy, that is so crazy. Anyway, speaking of people who are reaching new levels that their childhood self probably never thought they would, Donald Trump. Let's take a look at what Donald Trump is up to. Because it turns out Trump had a phone call with NBC News, and he said he's angry. He's pissed off at Vladimir Putin. You hate to see besties fall out like this. Drama, the girls are fighting.
Sunday morning, President Trump is standing by his national security team as the fallout intensifies after top officials mistakenly shared attack plans for U.S. military strikes in Yemen on the Signal messaging app with a journalist. In an exclusive phone interview on Saturday, the president told me, quote, "I don't fire people because of fake news and because of witch hunts." Mr. Trump said he still has confidence in Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Just hours ago, President...
Someone said that's why you never see two pretty best friends. Yeah. You never see two hotties like this that are besties. Like, there's always going to be some friction. You know what I mean? They're going to be into the same guy. It's just going to cause some issues, right?
And Trump called me to tell me he is, quote, pissed off with Russia's President Putin and threatened to impose secondary tariffs on Russia's oil.
It's crazy how orange he looks next to Vladimir Putin. It's crazy.
Quote, "If Russia and I are unable to make a deal on stopping the bloodshed in Ukraine, and if I think it was Russia's fault, which it might not be, but if I think it was Russia's fault, I am going to put secondary tariffs on all oil coming out of Russia." Mr. Trump said 25% tariffs on Russian oil could happen any moment and told me he plans to speak with President Putin this week. The president told me, quote, "I was very angry, pissed off when Putin started getting into Zelensky's credibility and started talking about new leadership in Ukraine." On Iran, the president said he's also considering secondary tariffs if Iran doesn't agree to a nuclear deal. Quote, "If they don't make a deal, there will be bombing, and it will be bombing the likes of which they have never seen before." After markets tumbled on Friday and with consumer confidence falling, the president also told me he's not backing down on his tariff plans.
What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff.
And the president telling me tariffs are, quote, absolutely permanent. And on fears of foreign automakers raising prices, quote, "I couldn't care less if they raise prices because people are going to start buying American-made cars." And on his vow to annex Greenland, the president saying, quote, "I never take military force off the table, but I think there's a good possibility."
I like that he called NBC News and said all of the bad things. He was like, "I'm going to go on a tear and I'm going to give you the worst possible answer for everything that you asked me. And maybe some extra stuff too." Fantastic. Every time this dude opens his mouth, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. What else? What else should we be looking forward to in the upcoming months? You know, fantastic, amazing, wonderful. Calling up fake news media like this is interesting, though. I think it means that he's recognizing that his motion is on shaky ground. You know, he's losing his motion a little bit because before he was riding high. Okay, there was no calls to NBC News whatsoever. It was all Fox News. He was going up, talking to brown nosers like Sean Hannity, and I think he recognizes that his approval ratings are kind of falling apart, especially because the economy is not doing so hot right now. And that's seemingly the only thing that selfish, entitled, self-centered Americans who can't see anything but like what's right in front of them care about. And it's a big thing to care about, for the record, of course. Make no mistake. But it's wild that, like, he's fucking that up, the thing that he, like, won the election over, while simultaneously also eroding constitutional protections that are in. Hasan is so negative, man. What an L way to live. Trump is king, baby. I like the overall vibes from people who are just like, yeah, I really just want you to say nice things about Trump. Like, I want you to just like have fun with it, you know? Okay, dude. They're black bagging people out the streets. You know what I mean? It's pretty fucked up. What do you want me to do? Lie? Yeah. Based. Okay, there you go. Yeah, he's the king. Nice about anything, man. Yeah. Yeah, based. This is the reason why he's threatening to bomb Iran now. They rejected his little letter. Oh, yeah. Great. Breaking. Iran's president has rejected direct negotiations with the U.S. in response to Trump's letter. Great. Fantastic. Amazing.
That we could do it without military force. The White House is still on defense this weekend after the Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg says he was added to that signal conversation by Mr.
Like, Trump called in to NBC News and was like, I'm going to bomb a foreign nation. A foreign nation with a standing military, missile systems, one that could cripple the global economy in retaliation. And you're over here being like, why don't you say something nice about that? Well, I don't know. I don't think it's hard. It's hard to say something nice about it, you know? He's like, I'm going to militarily invade Greenland. Okay, how do I find something nice about that? How am I supposed to look at that and go, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we should invade more countries. That's what I wanted. I wanted more invasions, not less, of course. That's why I voted for the peaceful dove, by the way. Remember? Everybody was like, oh, yeah, Mr. Peaceful Dove. That's what he does. He does peace deals. He's the art of the deal, art of the steal, baby, you know? He's such a good deal maker that he spent the first 2 months undermining our proxy in the Ukraine situation while simultaneously glazing Vladimir Putin. And now Vladimir Putin predictably is not even playing ball with him. So now he's upset at him. What happened to that deal? He said day one, he was going to fix it. He said, no more forever wars. Day one, I'm coming and I'm fixing Ukraine. Ukraine would have never happened under my watch. Okay. So what happened? It's no longer day two. We're entering the third month of the admin. What the hell?
Trump's national security advisor, Mike Waltz, where details of the plans for an attack on the Houthis in Yemen were shared with him in real time. The chat included the vice president, the defense secretary, the secretary of state, the CIA director, and the director of national intelligence. The explanations for what happened and how serious of a security breach it was have been evolving.
I'm sure everybody out there has had a contact where it was said one person and then a different phone number.
But you've never talked to him before, so how's the number on your phone? I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact and then then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in,
you that
it gets
contact.
sucked in.
Nobody was texting.
It gets sucked in. That's just how it gets sucked in. Don't you hate it when it gets sucked in, dude? Yeah. Hasan, you're such a hater. Why don't you understand? It gets sucked in. You know, hey, this guy, let me say something positive about him. He likes the party. That's cool. I like that the Defense Department is led by a guy who likes the party. I actually don't care about incompetence at this level, for the record. I do care about like the hatred that these people have in their hearts, but I don't really mind if the Defense Department is just weak. I don't mind that they're incompetent when they're making these sorts of decisions on Signal group chats or whatever. I do mind that our coverage over their ridiculous actions, like consistently bombing Yemen, for example, are not about why we're bombing Yemen at all, or bombing Yemen without congressional approval, or killing a bunch of civilians in the process and admitting it. in Signal group chats, but instead it's all about like, why are they doing this in Signal group chats? They should have better operational security. It's like, no, I don't really care. It's fine if they don't have good OPSEC. I'm happy with that, actually. Oh no, will it thwart America's America's evil plans? Oops, I guess. You know?
War plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
Intelligence officials defended the sensitive nature of the content, denying it was classified.
My communications, to be clear, in a Signal message group were entirely permissible and lawful and did not include classified information.
There was no classified material that was shared.
Was there any mention of a target in Yemen?
I don't remember mention of specific targets.
Was there any mention, Ms. Gabbard, of a weapon or weapons system?
I don't recall specific weapons systems being named.
How about anything about timing?
I don't recall specific timing.
Any mention of any military unit whatsoever? Mr. Ratcliffe?
Not that I recall.
Ms. Gabbard?
Not that I recall.
After
They know we can see the text messages, right? It's interesting.
the administration insisted there was no classified information on the text chain, Goldberg released the messages that included Defense Secretary Hegseth sharing specific details about when bombs would drop and when U.S. jets would take.
This was the day before they released text messages. No, I know, but they knew what the text messages were. They knew what the text messages were. Yeah. They I guess functionally declassified it by saying, "Oh, there's nothing in there that's serious. It's fine." And then Jeffrey turned around and was like, "Yeah, here it is then." You got a guy who is a State Department stooge to literally release these messages because you said, you know, it's clean, it's fine.
Off just 30 minutes before they launched the attack. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz texted that a key target of the attack had been seen walking into his girlfriend's building that had collapsed. President Trump is privately angry with Waltz, two Republican sources tell NBC News. The Senate Armed Services Committee has requested a formal investigation from the Pentagon's Inspector General, but the FBI and the DOJ seem unlikely to investigate the matter, even as pressure mounts for more accountability.
There was a crime here, and there should be accountability.
Just click the damn video, bro. It's so funny. You were so close.
I was searching around the internet.
Okay, dude. Okay, boomer.
White House lies. It's hypocritical. It's corrupt. So no, I don't trust the Fox to investigate the hen house.
I'm also puzzled by some of the answers that were given by the DNI at the intelligence hearing.
I think everybody has acknowledged, including the White House, that, yeah, mistakes were made. And what we want to do is make sure that something like that doesn't happen again.
And voter anger is growing over the issue, on display at this town hall in Indiana.
Will you demand the immediate resignation of Pete Hegseth? No, I will not demand their resignation.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
Trump tells NBC, "No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking about seeking a third term." When asked whether he wanted another term, Trump responded, "I like working. I'm not joking," Trump said, when asked to clarify, "but I'm not. It is far too early to think about it. There are methods which you could do it." Remember when another I told you so moment, okay? A lot of other people also said that this was most likely going to happen, but I'm telling you, dude, I 100p, dude. I told you. He want JD Vance to run with Trump being VP and give up the presidency to Trump law. I think last minute fucks everything up so that he could say we're in the same moment. FDR got to serve 3. Dude, what will the Democrats do now? What will the Democrats do now? And I don't like the counter from a lot of people that are like, well, Obama will get to do a third term then. It's like, okay, dude, sure. Yeah, that'll solve the problem for sure. Trump goes a third term, there's no more Obama. Trump goes a third term, there's no more elections. You feel me? You feel me? When his third term comes, there will be an election like Putin's Russia. I don't know. I don't know what kind of like, I don't know what kind of authoritarian version will exist at that point. I don't know. But it won't be even the theoretical liberal democracy that we've come to love and enjoy. Let me tell you. Martial law with Supreme Court, all the cards are stacked in his favor. Who knows? Also, in the process, Democrats carrying water for this admin will become so weak that I don't believe. I don't know what he's going to do, man. I don't know. There's so much. There's so much happening. And not in a good direction. That who knows how this man will continue undermining this country, destroying this country. The resistance. Only 34 Democrats sign letter on ICE making students disappear. Immigration officials are snatching international students off the street, and most Democrats don't seem to care. Oh my God. He's old. Maybe he's going to die soon. Oh God, the Turkification of America is so funny to me. Dude, this fantasy right here is one that every Russian has fantasized about with respect to Vladimir Putin, and every Turk has fantasized about with respect to Erdogan. It doesn't happen, okay? Evil does not die. Americans are moving in a very funny, they're moving, kötüye bir şey olmaz, okay? Nothing happens to bad people. This is so funny. Americans are experiencing the things that oftentimes due to American interference, as a matter of fact, or Western interference, as a matter of fact, has like fucked over other countries and like planted authoritarian regimes in other nations. And all you can do is just sit around and go, what am I going to do? I hope he dies one day, you know? Fantastic. I like that is the only thing that remains here in America as well. Like we've given up. We've given up entirely on the Democrats doing anything in terms of resistance, like the courts, all the institutions are going to serve his interests. So that's the last option. When you're at that stage, the last option is like, okay, maybe he'll die because he's old. You know? He's going to get us into a direct war somewhere, then declare that we can't hold elections because we're at war. And if anyone complains, he's going to say you're okay with Zelensky doing it while completely ignoring it's not Zelensky's choice to be at war. Have you read about the Swedish journalist that got detained in Turkey, got arrested on terrorism charges? No, I hadn't seen it, but that's not surprising to me at all. Bro, you guys are so crazy. Trump almost got assassinated and he survived, dude. He's got the heavens mandate, okay? The golden hand. That's it. Oh, God. Shit is so fucked up. Kamala and Biden more than doubled the amount of people abducted by ICE after taking over from Trump. Liberals just stopped caring for 4 years. Welcome back. Yeah, there is... I don't even want to get into this, but... God damn, dude. Holy shit.